Bandidos, what up? Your boy Tux here. We're diving into something you've probably noticed if you've been around here for a while, the Division 2 dip. You know that feeling. You finish the season's content, take down the final manhunt target, and then what? A lot of players log out and don't come back until new stuff drops, basically next season. Hey, every game experiences dips to some degree, but with the Division 2, it's a little bit more severe. Right now, it's a bigger deal than ever. Ubisoft's dropping the Battle for Brooklyn DLC on May 27th for about $17. The first big DLC since Warlords of New York. They need us to stick around and bring in new players to make this launch a hit. With Ubisoft's money troubles, every game's gotta deliver. Plus, the Division 2 is now, more than ever, like a testing ground for more Division content. Looking at you, Division 3. So let's break it down. Why does this dip happen? What are the devs doing about it? And is it enough with all the crazy games coming in 2025? Let's do this.
Wait, did we just become best friends? So nice to meet you. I think you're cool.
Piece of shit wristwatch.
So first, why do all the players disappear after a season wraps up? Well, the Division 2 seasons are long. For one, they're 4 months each. And during those 4 months, things can get old very fast, especially when they drop gear that doesn't hit super hard or we don't have any new game modes or missions. And on top of that, we've got global events that haven't changed much since Warlords of New York dropped years ago. Now there are XP farm events, but these only feel exciting because the game doesn't give us any ways to grind XP. Even when seasons were 3 months, players would bounce right after the final manhunt mission. Now with 4 months, that quiet period after the climax just drags on and the dip hits harder. The good news, the devs aren't ignoring this. In year 6, season 2, they launched Seasons 2.0, which revamped the battle pass to make it more rewarding. They also switched up the manhunts. Now it's 11 to 16 weekly scouts building up to a big climax mission, plus a new master difficulty for the hardcore crowd. They added priority objectives too, a project system to farm materials, new seasonal modifiers, and now they're stepping it up again with stretch goals. This limited time event extends the season pass beyond tier 100. Once you hit tier 110, it'll loop back to 101, and you can keep grinding for rewards like crafting materials, seasonal gear caches, and some slick vanity items. So here's what's hot. Those exotic caches, they have, well, it's a small chance, but a chance of dropping raid exclusive exotics. We're talking the Eagle Bearer, Ravenous, Regulus, and the Ouroboros, all of which require you to find a squad and play incursions or raids in order to get. And even then, there's no guarantee, or there's multiple steps in receiving those weapons, like quests. And you're gonna have this entire period to be able to farm it. In addition to that, these caches are also dropping large quantities of exotic components. That's also going to be helpful for new players, but also veteran players who are investing a lot in their expertise system. It's a cool idea, and the short window adds some urgency to jump in. During this time, we'll also have a few other global events lingering to the end of this season that will also drive a little bit more engagement for those that need that XP, or especially like popping off with some added boosts. So it seems that there's something for everyone with this new stretch goals thing. But here's the real talk. We have to remember that this is a game in the later stages of its life cycle. We have to come to terms with the fact that the majority of the player base are veteran players. And that's where we need to check in with reality on whether this is strong enough to hold the players. And new players, I don't think are gonna have issues with needing to log in because they do have something to do. They're still working on farming that gear and upgrading their builds and building up their materials. For the rest of the players, the ones that have been here for a while, that have completed several seasons, those are the guys that we gotta keep our eye on. The good news is that there's a lot of players that have wanted and don't have things like the Eagle Bear and the Regulus because they don't do raids. So I do think that's a big incentive. However, it's a little bit demoralizing when you realize 0.5% chance isn't a really good chance. I don't think they should just be giving these exotics away, but it's fair to ask, should that percentage be lifted? Because it is a limited time event. So players are gonna be grinding that. Hopefully the climax mission hits hard enough where they're replaying that several times over and over and taking advantage of whatever global events linger. Now let's open up that can of worms, because here's the problem. We have the DLC coming in May 27th, but besides that, we haven't received any new content in over a year. The last thing we got was the Paradise Lost incursion. So that means we've been playing the same missions, the same open world map, engaging the same factions, the same global events since the Warlords of New York was released in 2020. That's a hell of a long time. Now, the devs did revamp them at one point, but they're still the same global events. When they introduced Seasons 2.0 and Year 6 Season 2, they also introduced modifiers. You can't run modifiers with global events because you'd be basically overpowered, so that makes sense, we get it. So you have to make choices, but the community has been finding that the modifiers are more engaging and feel more rewarding than the global events. And even though the global events give you these extra caches from the red stars that you can earn, a lot of players, the ones that have been here for a while, find that they're not enticing enough to endure the boredom of replaying the same old event that's been around for years and years and years. While new players won't have this issue, of course, so it's still good for them, I have to say that this dilemma poses the greatest opportunity for impacting player retention. When they rolled out global modifiers, it felt like global events became sort of an afterthought. Then maybe we just need a new concept on what makes up a global event for the Division 2. Something that aligns better with Seasons 2.0 and not just leaving the global events as an afterthought. If they rework those global events and continue to spread them out throughout the season, ensuring that there's some engaging ones at the back half of the season, I think that'll do wonders for the game. But the seasons are still 4 months long. If I'm doing the same stuff over and over, even for a new outfit, I might still get bored. The rewards are solid for some, crafting stuff and vanity items are nice, but if you're more into story or fresh challenges, they might not hook you. 4 months is a long time to stretch out content, and without more variety, players still drop off. And there's a gigantic elephant in the room. 2025. The back half of this year is stacked with huge games. We're talking Doom, Borderlands 4, Arc Raiders, which is hitting hard, Marathon, Mind's Eye, Elden Ring, Nightreign, Metal Gear Solid, Gears of War E-Day, and Gears of War just announced that they're launching a remastered version of the original Gears of War in August. On top of that, it seems that the new Battlefield 6 might be coming in 2025. I could keep going. These are massive titles that'll pull players away if the Division 2 doesn't keep us hooked. The good news is that people love this game, or at least the idea of it. But if the game feels stale, people might spend their time and cash elsewhere. So what do we, the players, actually want? From what I've seen on Reddit, forums, and in the comment section, we're begging for variety. Definitely something super replayable. The Battle for Brooklyn DLC could be huge if it brings something fresh, which it will, but it's a little bit more of the same thing, which is a whole other topic, but the devs need to play a little bit safe here. They've taken some risks in the past with content and it really backfired. So if we're gonna have more of the same, then we need to keep the ball rolling and make sure we have continuous drops. The game gets barely any patches mid-season, and that hurts. Sort of jumps out as obvious what we need here. Even if they're not massive, I'm sure that could help. I think the biggest thing that needs to happen ASAP is a full reveal on Year 7. So far, we only got eyes on Season 1. This wouldn't bother me so much if we didn't have a 3-year delay to produce the DLC. This game, it just needs a few back-to-back W's to kickstart the energy around the game. The DLC is a great start. We just need a solid follow-through, and we're back, baby. When it comes to accessibility, we're really talking about new things to help onboard new players. But what we're not talking about is free-to-play. Although this game is really old, there is a PvP element to it, and free-to-play games sounds great until you realize cheaters can make endless new accounts after a ban. But with paid games, every ban stings because they've got to shell out cash, say $20 to get back in. That's a real deterrent. Cheating software isn't cheap either. And yes, our PvP is plagued with cheaters. So where does the Division 2 stand? Well, it's at a crossroads. The devs are trying the Seasons 2.0 and stretch goals, and that's not nothing. Good efforts. But with Seasons dragging on and competition heating up in 2025, what do you think? Will stretch goals keep you logging in, or do you need more? Drop your thoughts down below. Let's talk it out.
Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm Tuxedo Bandido, and if you found this video helpful, be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on the good stuff I have coming for you. And if you like content like this, be sure to check out the video I have recommended for you right here. If you have anything you would like me to cover, be sure to let me know in the comments below. And thank you to all the channel members and donors who make things possible. Tux Nation wouldn't be the same without you.
When you buy a game from Ubisoft, enter the creator code Tuxedo Bandido to support the channel. Easy peasy.
Wait, did we just become best friends?